live right now?
It says going live.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, we're live now. Welcome, everybody. This is Edwin, the Magic Engineer, and my wife,
Holly.
Holly. There she is.
Magic Engineer.
The Unmagic Engineer. So this is going to be a live stream with Tavis King. He hasn't arrived here yet, so he has been texting me. He's on his way, so we're going to have to keep our ears open for when he actually gets to the front door. So I see we got Froggy, 25. Good to see you again, man. And 9 Dimes is in there. How's it going? Hello. So hopefully everybody, and Joseph Freshwater's in there too. We're gonna have to turn down the volume. It'll be all echoey.
Yeah.
So I've got my wife here to help me moderate. She's gonna be helping me stay up to speed with the chat. And some of you guys might notice the video quality is back up to full quality again. I discovered what the problem was.
Joseph is here now, and Jeremy.
Yep, Jeremy Warden I see, and Baccaras. Okay, so the issue I had last time when I was live streaming with Open Boosters, it turned out to actually be his camera. So I told him to get a Logitech camera, and he did. But when it showed up, instead of saying Logitech, it said Logi on it, like Logi, which might either be like a cheap Chinese knockoff, or it might have actually been like some other variant of a Logitech camera. But it was like, it looked exactly the same except for saying Logi on the front. And I sent a picture to my Instagram feed. So anyone who looked at Instagram could actually see like the two side by side. Well, that turned out to actually be what the problem with the really bad video was. As soon as you flipped it over, then it just went straight over to good video quality again.
Your daughter's on here.
Yeah. Froggy says counterfeit, not only in MTG. Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, the next time Open Boosters and I do another live stream, we're going to have a good quality camera, and you guys won't have to deal with that garbage again. So Jeremy said, "What is poppin', my brother from another mother?" What's up? And so Clip Star is in there. That's actually my daughter. I think she's in the other room, probably listening to this.
Hi, Jeremy. He said hi to me.
Okay, and he said it's not Ba, it's B-A. So it's B-A Karas. Okay, I guess they just probably wouldn't let you do the periods in there for the actual name. Maybe that's what's going on. Hey, daughter from another father. Okay, so when Tavis gets here, the topics I have planned to talk about are basically like, in his wheelhouse. It's his forte. So those of you that don't know Tavis King, he's one of the most amazing people I've ever known when it comes to actually having just insane arcane knowledge in terms of like Wizards of the Coast, like how they work, how the print process goes, what kind of defects can actually happen. And he has a really wide collection of misprints and things like that. And so I actually met him for the first time. My daughter was doing something. I actually met him for the first time that day that Open Boosters and Daniel Chang and I drove up to see Rudy at his shop. And then Tavis came and like met us there. And then I got to see a lot of his misprints and just gotten to know the guy since then. He's an amazing person. And now that I live in Florida, I'm not too terribly far from him. So he is making the trip over here. And let's see if he's got an update at the moment. No text updates yet.
Kara says, all about Old Navy V-necks now.
So so the vintage Magic shirts are all like Old Navy V-necks, right? I guess. So I figured I should wear something a little bit, more Magic related today for the shirt instead of just, my typical like work shirts, which are like nice polo tees and stuff like that. So Melissa, hey, Tom just got her Avacyn Angel of Hope. You have over 9,000 older cards now. That's an awful lot, Melissa.
Wow.
So if you guys want to think up some questions that you want to ask Tavis when he gets here, so what you can do is just go ahead and add them to the chat window. And then when he gets here, we can have them queued up. And my lovely assistant over here can actually have them like all ready. Maybe you can make a notepad or something like that. So we can just feed him to Tavis when he actually gets here.
I'll go grab one
because he's asking about our Halloween candy on the live stream.
Oh, I hit it.
There we go. All the family dirty laundry is coming out.
Yep.
The Halloween candy is hidden.
We need to block her. Actually, I have the ability to block her.
What is the Black Lotus of misprints? I think that obviously be the Blue Hurricane. So normally you've got the Hurricane spell that was printed in lots of sets, but when it was printed in this like revised set, it was printed in the wrong color, and it was like a really well-known misprint. And I think that one is only in the Summer Magic set, if I remember right. And so anyways, like that Blue Hurricane is something like worth $3 or $4 grand or something like that. And Tavis actually does have one, and he'll probably have it here tonight. So for you guys to actually see it. So did you guys check or did you see the Open Boosters live stream? All of you that are logged in right now? Hopefully everybody saw that and enjoyed it. Andrew Rosnovsky. Hey, he's here. So all you guys in chat, say hi to Andrew. I used to actually work with Andrew at Hewlett Packard over in Houston, Texas.
Where is the candy?
Suddenly the candy is a big deal. Suddenly she has to have it like right now, right? So Jeremy would like to know how many of his collection he pulled himself. Okay, we'll ask that about
Yeah,
Tavis.
I'm trying to find something I can write on.
Oh, I have a clipboard. Where did I put it?
I don't know.
I think it's in my nightstand, right on the left of the bed, like 2 drawers down. I think there's a clipboard in there, so she can like write down and take notes and stuff like that. So also, guys, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to be traveling to another Magic the Gathering old school tournament at some point. I've been speaking with a guy named Gary online a bunch, trying to decide like if I'm going to travel to something else other than GP Vegas. There's another tournament that he was throwing out there that I might actually travel to. So the Providence one in Rhode Island, that's going to happen in May. He was saying the plane tickets there are pretty cheap. So if they are, like, I might travel up that way for a nice size old school tournament. But also I want to try to get a crew going together down here in Orlando. So anyone that lives generally in this area and actually enjoys old school, please send me an email. I've always got my email listed in my videos in the description. And I'd love to connect with any old schoolers here so we can actually get some games in. And also on that note, you guys might have noticed that my videos have slowed down a little bit. The main reason for that is I've been working on the mid-range decks. And when I try to do a deck tech, unfortunately, you can't just like say, here's a deck. I mean, I got to actually put the work in to research that deck. And so that slows down the video creation because I have very little free time. And what I have now is all going into the actual deck testing and evolution and stuff like that. So it slows down the speed at which my videos are coming out. But I'm trying to make my videos higher quality these days. Some of you might notice that, like, you know, some of the guys I'm friends with, they pop out videos like almost every day, which is great. And I wish I could do that, but I just don't have the time to do that. And so I'm trying to really have good content on each of them before I actually create them and put them out there. So any feedback you guys have on that would be appreciated. If you would want content more often, just talk easily about simple topics, or if you'd want me to keep kind of doing what I'm doing and try to actually like pack more goodness into the individual videos when they happen. So Joseph Freshwater said, is it known how many blue hurricanes there are? That's okay. That's a really good question. We'll have to ask Tavis that one.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was your question or to you, but that's for Tavis then. For
Tavis, yeah, because I definitely don't know that. Okay. That'll probably come down to how many Summer Magics, because I think that was Summer Magic, wasn't it? And so Jeremy said, I've opened a lot of packs and never seen more than a blotch of ink. Yeah, I've barely ever seen any misprints either. I just had one on one of my videos from a newer set. I think it was from Masters 25 or Iconic Masters or something, one of those two. And I think I even called it out in the video, like how bad the print quality was, but it was just blurry. And that happens way too often to be special at all now these days. So Tragic Slip says he'll have to watch it on replay. Okay, well, tell me how you like it on replay, Tragic Slip. And Nicola, he's in here. He's the guy that made that wooden deck box. And Mike Snaff says, looking forward to the new deck techs. Okay, good. So Mike, if you prefer that I go ahead and do slower content creation but better quality, let me know. Or if you guys prefer that I go ahead and just speed it up and just get shorter one on.
Deb's here.
Oh yeah, Deb.
Hi, Deb.
So Deb, Tavis is not here yet. He's showing up a little bit late. We're waiting for him to show up, and at any moment he'll either text or show up at the front door. That's
our
what we're
dogs
hoping.
will let us know when he's here.
Yeah, our dogs will probably let us know. My husband is late again. Yep. I don't do Patreon. Do whatever makes you happy, Edwin. Okay, I like that.
Uh-oh.
That's
say that.
that's kind of one of the reasons I wanted to not have Patreon, so I could actually just kind of have this content go any direction that I feel like. But at the same time, I want it to be enjoyable for you guys, right? I mean, I don't want to waste your time because your time is valuable, right? So, yeah, that was the reason for that question. I remember that and I respect that. Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate that. So I don't know if you guys also saw that I just traveled to Oregon and we went out there. Unfortunately, we had some family things to go out for. And so when I was out there, I went to that store called Legends of Gamers. You guys might have seen some videos on my channel and Daniel Chang's channel. He's been posting some videos of this little old school meetup. It was really cool. I just mentioned to some people on Instagram and on one of my YouTube videos, I mentioned that I was going to show up at a store and I just wanted to play some old school games. And we had a bunch of people show up, actually. It was really awesome. I had like 15 people at max that were actually there. And we actually mostly did group games. We sat around the table and just did a bunch of like Magic group games. It was really awesome. And also, any of you follow MTG Purple? Did you guys notice that he changed his channel name again and now it's just Mike Hatcher?
No, really?
Yeah, he totally did. So I'm trying to get a hold of that guy because that reminds me, there's something else I wanted to ask him about.
He's kind of schizophrenic with his name.
Yeah, he kind of is. Ever since he got kicked in the head, he keeps changing his name.
So do that.
Don't get kicked in the head.
Joseph says, slower but better quality is kind of an Edwin thing. I don't think he would enjoy putting out things fast that are not well done.
Joseph knows me pretty well, apparently. Yeah. I would rather do higher quality videos that people can go back and watch later and actually enjoy.
And Jeremy says, yes, Summer Magic, he has it in his binder, and I like seeing packs open, brother.
Okay, Brandon Rose is on here.
Hi, Brandon.
So Brandon, I'm really hoping at some point I can travel over east a little bit and hang out with the Rose family and do some cards. So Nathan, your dad and I have been
living over there by his parents?
Actually, I don't know. Brandon, Are you still closer to where your dad is at? Or could you travel so we could all do a game or something like that? So I should explain for everyone else. When I went to college and I was doing my engineering degrees, there was a guy I was really good friends with there named Nathan. And we would always do like LAN game parties and stuff like that. And so when I first got into Magic, like in college, like he was like right there as well. So I got him into Magic a little bit, but then he went off and did his own thing for a while. And I guess years later with his family, he got them into playing Magic. And Brandon, who's now on this chat stream, is his oldest son. So now Nathan moved to Florida years ago. And now I've moved out to Florida. And so now we're trying to like reconnect and like actually get together and just hang out, but also do some Magic games and stuff like that. So it's a pretty cool thing. Oh, Daniel's there. How's it going, Dan? Brandon. Less than 200 is his guess. Okay, yeah, that's a good question because I had no idea how many of them there actually are.
And Brandon says, yeah, he can travel. He lives in Titusville also.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll have to get like a couple games going, some game nights or something like that with the Rose family.
Mm-hmm. Like Uno.
That's
my kind of game.
So for anyone who just joined, Tavis King is going to be here, but he's unfortunately late, and we're just waiting for him to show up.
So I'm filling in, so if you have any questions, I can answer.
So, Holly, tell me about the print process with Magic the Gathering. Can you talk about...
It's very inky.
Inky?
Yes.
Okay, yes, inky. What did they do with those print sheets? How did they cut them?
The scissors. No, let's get serious.
Let's get serious. I don't play your
paper
new
cutter. from Michael's.
Actually, that's something I want to ask Tavis about, because like I heard, and actually I see that Daniel's on the chat, so maybe he could even answer this question. You guys know that the alpha cards have rounder corners than the beta cards. And I guess there's people out there that in the past have actually taken beta cards and clipped the corners to look like alpha cards. And you should be able to detect it if you know what you're looking for, to see if a card that looks like an alpha is actually a beta. And one way that I know about is like there's a slight difference in the alignment of the print plates for alpha and beta. And it's really minute. It's really hard to see, but it's there. And so you can even tell between like an alpha and a beta and a collector's edition, the print plates are aligned slightly differently. So on some of the text, when you zoom in real close, you can actually see that slight difference. So that's one way, but I've heard there's another way, like with the corners, where you can tell like how the cutting was actually done if it was a beta was turned into an alpha. So what's Jeremy asking? Did you see his video where he's taking you and open boosters away from Rudy? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Perp's video about that. Yeah, that was really funny. Okay, I was driving to work and I have like, sometimes I'll have like my phone like clipped on the dashboard and it'll just be running just because it's just so boring on the freeway. And so I had that video going and Perp's like, I'm stealing his friends. And dude, I started cracking up. I was laughing. It was hilarious. Perp's done that in a couple other videos. Like he did one with MTG Lion where he put this little like stuffed lion in the shot, and he was dubbing over MTG Lion's voice. And this one time MTG Lion was saying, I want to be a harasser. And so he had the little lion doing like this dubbed over voice. It was really funny. I think that was his best one. So I replied to Perp and told him that that one was hilarious. And all these people in that exact video, they didn't figure out that he was joking when he was saying he's going to take over Rudy's business and steal his friends and stuff like that.
Froggy says, at least they can't deal with major differences like Red Elemental Blast with cards with major differences.
Yeah, and there's definitely some cards between alpha and beta that have major differences. Like what's that one, Orcish Oriflamme, and then there's the Ballisto one as well that had like the casting cost change or something like that. So yeah, not that at all. But there's definitely, I think there's times where like people have taken betas and tried to like cut them and pass them off as alphas for a slight price increase.
Jeremy says, Daniel is my other brother from another mother.
So Enigma Records says, you remember in the last live video, I said I was going to teach my son via Ice Age. I built a couple decks and we've had 2 games so far, recorded some of it, trying to make an introduction video. Oh, really?
Cool.
So Enigma Records, are you making a YouTube channel? If you are, yeah, do it, man. And post a link. I'll probably subscribe. Probably. I will subscribe. Probably.
This reminds me of Fun with Flags.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what's it called.
Yeah, on
that show called?
The Blast Show.
The Blast.
Why am I blanking on the
Nerd
name?
Show. I don't know. Every time I
With
get
Sheldon?
on here, yeah, they were Fun with Flags.
Yeah.
I feel like right now.
Big Bang Theory.
Bang.
Yeah, there we go.
Jeremy says, I'm broke. The only way I'll see you on is in my dreams. Laugh out loud. Bakara says, your go-to strategy in Magic control, combo, mid-range, or aggro?
Oh, so for me specifically, most of the time I tend to actually go control. That's what I've done for years and years. But I've been actually switching over to aggro decks because everyone else is like playing control. And like, I want to explore places that people haven't gone as much. And it's very easy in old school. Like if you have the cards, just throw together the deck and go play the deck. And you're going to probably do pretty well if you know how to play the cards. But I think there's so much exploration that people are doing because the meta game has shifted around so much. And I actually really like that. And so that was one of the primary reasons I tried to do the Stasis deck and then Rug Crazies and stuff like that. Well, actually the other way around. I did Rug Crazies first and then the Stasis deck. Is I'm trying to kind of push myself into like other avenues and explore them a little bit. Like I'm actually just playing Diablo 2. In the last like couple weeks, I've been playing Diablo 2, and I always play the sorceress, right? But this time I'm actually playing the barbarian, just so I can just try to like see what it's like from the other perspective.
Are you Dave the Barbarian?
I'm Dave the Barbarian, and it just drives me crazy. I can't stand it.
Okay, so Enigma Records says I'll be under another name because this one is for music stuff.
Oh, okay. What's that last one?
Tristan Eason says, would you buy Judge Foil Gaia's cradles at NM for another 900 or higher in the future?
Okay, so good question. So Gaia's Cradle is a reserve list card, and it's definitely a card that's in demand. I think what drives its demand more than anything else is the legacy format, specifically like Elves decks and stuff like that, and also EDH decks. People love the card, and I think it's higher than Tolarian Academy because it's like 4 of when people, or not 4 of, but there's more of them in the deck when people try to play it. So, I mean, it's a fantastic card, right? And I've always avoided it though, because every time I've ever like almost wanted to go buy a Gaia's Cradle, there was another card that I could go buy and make more use of. And that's the problem I always ran into. Now, if I specifically was an Elves player and I loved that kind of deck, the synergy of it and the way it worked, I would say absolutely go get a Gaia's Cradle. In terms of financial investment, I really struggle, with the foil ones and the prices and stuff like that. It's hard to say. I'm much more into the much older cards that have a much smaller print run. And I think that they're going to command a lot of value just because of their smaller print run sizes and old school format and stuff like that. But, if the price was right on Gaia's Cradle, I would definitely grab some. But again, like every time I go to buy one, when it was like $100, there was like other dual lands and stuff that I wanted to get. When it was like $200, I wanted to get my Library of Alexandria. When it was $400, I was needing to get like my Moat and my Abyss and stuff like that. So I'm constantly like in this spot where like I want to get it, but I just like I'm always falling short. But in terms of if you're just going for straight up investment, I think the best thing to do investment wise, if you just want good investment, find really high quality loose cards that are like alpha beta and that could probably grade high. Buy those and grade them. That'll be your best investment for sure. Way better than a Gaia's Cradle. So I think, did we miss that one with Joseph Freshwater?
Go back up. Dylan says, I'm a nerd blonde hunter too.
Blonde hunter too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get it.
And then Tom says, what is your take on this ultimate master set? Why so expensive?
Okay, yeah, there's a lot of discussion on that. So apparently I've heard that there's a list out of what all is in the set. I haven't seen the list. And so I'm speaking without that knowledge of what's actually in it. But I'll tell you what I've been expecting. I've been expecting that they're going to have a lot of cards that like almost hit the EV of what the box should be. But the problem is when they print them and they put them out there, those cards are going to drop a ton on the secondary market. And very soon, I personally think the boxes, the prices on them are just going to tank like crazy and maybe go down into the low 200s or even like below 200s is what I've been suspecting. Wizards has been doing that for a while. They haven't been putting like all the best cards into a set. And they don't put like commons and uncommons that carry a lot of value either. They're like always focused on this whole draft thing, which is, I don't know, I kind of think it's nonsense. So I don't think in terms of investment, it's going to be great unless you can get it at like a really good price. And if I got it at a good price and the price went up, I'd probably just sell the cards. I think it's more about if you just need the cards and you want it and you enjoy the opening of it and stuff like that would be a reason to get it. But in terms of investment, I would totally pick other cards if that's what I was going for.
Joseph Freshwater says, Edwin, would you ever do a video on 9394 or 9395 EDH Magic? Have you ever thought about the cool interactions and how EDH multiplayer changes and makes some cards better and are unplayable in one-on-one?
So, yeah, I've actually thought a lot about EDH because I've played a lot of EDH with my friends. In fact, that's exactly what I want to do with Brandon, with you and your dad, and like anyone else who wants to show up. I want to do some EDH games. That would be fantastic. I've never done EDH with old school cards specifically. That would be really interesting to actually construct a 100-card Highlander deck with old school cards. That would be really cool. So I'd like to try that, but I've definitely done it with like other things, and it would be fun to film just an EDH game with 93, 94 cards, 95, 93, 95 Magic, or even just EDH in general. In fact, I really think Open Boosters would love EDH if he ever tried that format, and at some point I'm going to get that guy to try it. So I think that kind of video would be very interesting, but you got to have a lot of good camera angles because you got to be able to see the cards. So there has to be like an overhead camera, and then you have to have at least 2 or 3 other cameras to get people's faces really well. So it would take the proper setup, and I'm getting to a point where I think I might be able to do something like that, but it would be a little difficult to get it. And I don't think it would be a live thing. It would have to be pre-recorded so you could stitch it all back together because there's just so many video streams going at once. So, but that would be really cool.
Pete Lemoy says, sorry I'm late. How are you doing?
Great, thank you. How are you doing?
And Daniel asks, who's the better cook, Holly or Bernardo?
I don't know. Let's go ask him.
Daniel.
Hey, how's it going? What's your name?
My name's Holly.
And Bernardo, hey. What do you guys think, eh? It's pretty sweet, eh? Yeah, I like it. What's this? Am I supposed to be Edwin now? Is this thing on? How's it going, everybody? It's Bernardo. Yeah, Bernardo Goldman. Yeah, that's right. The legend. Yeah, I'm here. I'm here for you guys. That's right. Hey, baby.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
What's up?
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. So, hey, we had a question for Bernardo. What was the question?
Am I the better cook or are you?
Well, I don't cook. I pay people to cook. You think I cook? You think Bernardo Goldman actually goes out there and makes his own food? These people don't know me. Boy, that was good. Who asked that? I'm gonna send someone after that
Thanks,
guy.
Daniel.
Yeah, we're gonna send someone after this Daniel guy. Yeah, someone. Bernardo's coming for you, Daniel.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, maybe I should go get Edwin. I'll be right back.
Yeah, bring back in.
Oh!
That was quick.
Oh, that guy can really punch.
I know, right?
Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. So, anyways, where do we leave off?
Okay, we're skipping Daniel questions now.
Skip the Daniel questions.
Joseph, is that Joe Peterson? He's asking,
Is it?
Coming, I think, maybe.
Oh, no, Joseph.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
it's spelled different.
Oh, okay.
So Joseph Peterson, this one is the guy that actually used to work for Wizards of the Coast a little while ago, and I met him actually.
Your other friend, Joe Peterson.
He was at the, what was it? The VIP party that was at GP Vegas in 2018. So how's it going, Joseph? What did he ask?
Are you coming to the GP Portland?
No plans for GP Portland. We are planning on GP Vegas, and I'm kind of talking about Providence or something else, some other. If they're inexpensive to travel to and stay, and I can do it like within a weekend, so I don't have to use vacation time at work, then it's a possibility. There's no plans for the Portland one at the moment, though. Unfortunately, the next big plan is definitely, I think, going to be Vegas.
Okay. Nicola asks, is Tolarian his banned or limited wherever? So unfair.
Yes, I agree. The Tolarian Academy has been my favorite card in that entire set. And I've always liked it more than the Gaia's Cradle, and it always bugged me that the Gaia's Cradle was like a little bit more expensive than the Tolarian Academy. Because I was always like, you guys, this one's so much better. But I guess they knocked that one out right at the beginning because of the Moxes and stuff like that.
Enigma Records says, what was the first single card you ever bought or traded for that was a big deal to you?
I think it was Martin Stromgald in Ice Age. Because I built a red-green creature deck, and Martin was supposed to be the King Daddy, and I opened one of them in a pack, and then I had to go buy a couple others to complete my Ice Age Martin Stromgald deck. And she just shakes her head. This nerd stuff. So, Mike, are we here at this Mike Long comment?
Nope. We skipped Froggy. Hard to see Judge Cradle Tank at the very least.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're at Mike.
Make a video on mid-range Underworld Dreams, Howling Mine, Black Vice, Library. Okay. So, Mike, I actually have been working on a deck like that. Someone else posted one pretty similar to the list that I was creating. I told them that they were doing that. So I don't want to let the cat out of the bag too much, but it was a red, black, white, Underworld Dreams, Land Tax, Winds of Change. I think those are like the main pieces in that deck, and it was just supposed to like get a lot of cards and cycle them through, and then use the Underworld Dreams for the kill shot and the Land Tax for card draw and stuff like that, and then good removal with like Abyss and Wrath of God and stuff like that. I'm still working on that list. I can make it very good against one archetype, but then it's not as good against the other. So it's great against creatures but not control, or great against control but not creatures. It's like you're trying to fit so much into one list. So I'm working on something like that. Ow! Hit my knee. Sorry. Okay, I think I'm getting behind here. It might be lower, but is scared. Tom says, nice to see your subs have gone up. Keep it up. Okay, thank you, Tom. The PSA box topper and Ultimate Masters can be searched, so don't buy those loose box toppers. Yes, I agree. Definitely do not buy anything that's a searchable pack. And Pete says, I actually accidentally invested in 3 beta Llanowar elves, got them at $10 a piece, but not too long ago. Then they spiked. And have I seen the price on them now? Actually, no. Have they gone up more? The last time I looked, I bought mine actually from Daniel Chang here in this channel. I bought them at like $20-something a piece. Then they shot up to like 110. Then they fell to like 90, and I haven't seen where they're at right now. So I haven't looked for a little bit. Joseph says, I miss premium decks. Do you? Kind of. Yeah, when they make good premium decks like that, the foiled Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning, the premium Fire one was really good. I liked that deck. I did buy that, and I still have it somewhere, actually. So I do miss those kind of premium decks. And Tristan says, I sold one today, foil Gaia's Cradle at $8.50. Wow, that's a good sell. Good job, man. I still have 2 more. Hashtag feels bad, man. I wanted to keep it, but I needed the cash. By the way, you're awesome, even without your wife. Thanks. So good job on selling that Gaia's Cradle for $8.50. That's a great investment, man. I need the cards, all the higher mythics I do not have. Yep, everyone. Me too. Don't forget Winds of Change and Wheel of Fortune in it. I can swing those. Okay, so Mike's talking about the Underworld Dreams deck that I was mentioning, like with 3 colors. So I'm still working on that one, but I really want to get that right before I present that. And I think Tavis might have got here. I hear some commotion out there. So Jeremy says, offer open boosters cookies to play Trust Me, It Works. Okay, I'll offer him cookies and see if he can jump in the game. And Vara Dark is here. How's it going, Vara? My day is going great. And there he is. He made it.
Hello, everybody.
How's it going, Tavis?
Pretty good. Which seat's mine?
Yeah, right there.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I'll set these over here for you or something?
Sure, yeah.
I told you he was coming. Okay, so everybody, we got Tavis King here.
Camera's right there?
Yep, so that's the camera. The microphone's right here. It should be recording all of us really well.
Can everybody hear me okay?
Oh, I'm sure they can.
All right.
And we have 36 people online right now, and we have 8 thumbs up, and the chat is going on over here.
Okay.
And Holly's also helping us moderate. She's helping me try to stay up, but I'm
Here,
following.
I have 2 questions for you.
Perfect.
Okay, but we gotta catch up here a bit in the chat.
Sure.
Let's see. Froggy 25. I read an article on 93-94, but I always wanted to try it, but I didn't find players to play with. If any of you are looking for players to do 93-94 with, a lot of games are done online. There's a Facebook group called, I think it's Online Skype Games or something.
I'm not a member of that one.
They might have,
I've heard of it.
They might have changed the name, but you can always find someone to play with over Skype chat, if not locally. If you guys need someone to play 93-94 with.
Can I make a quick suggestion?
Yeah.
Could everybody say who they're trying to ask the question to, or if it's to both of you, or if it's specifically for Tavis, or
Yeah, did you guys hear that? So if you have a question for just me or just
So
Tavis,
it's easier for me.
try to clarify that so we actually know.
Get the right person answering the question.
yeah.
So Vara Dark said, if you go to Providence, let me know. I'm in Boston, going to Providence. Would love to meet you. Okay, that'd be great. I'll let you guys know if I do travel to Boston for it.
Providence is a nice place. I was there a long time ago, but
Oh, really?
94. Yeah.
Is that Rhode Island?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It's
Okay.
the capital. of
Okay.
Portland.
Oh, maybe you can come with me then if we actually go.
Wait,
See, I put him on the
isn't
spot.
Providence on the end of Cape Cod.
Mhm.
That's Massachusetts.
Is it? I thought
I don't know.
Providence
We'll
was
figure
Rhode
it
I
out.
could
Island.
be confused.
So Joseph
it's
Peterson
Rhode
says,
Island.
"All right, Vegas it is. Okay, well, we will be there in Vegas. That is the plan. We'll have to play old school. Yes, I'm going to Vegas just to actually play games. I'm not going to be working a booth or anything this time." And Tavis King says, "Knock, knock. You must be logged in somewhere."
I'm here.
Okay, you said. Oh, I see. You were downstairs.
Okay,
You
Ron
consider-
Joseph.
Right here. You consider Yawgmoth's Will as to power 10 card? I do. I think Yawgmoth's Will is one of the most powerful cards in all of Magic for sure. Beta Elves is 70 online from what I remember. Moderate play beta 59. What are your favorite cards in your budget Legacy Green deck? Maybe we should just get to some Tavis questions and then I'll have to circle back to
right
these.
here. So in the very
Okay.
beginning, Jeremy Warden asked, I would like to know how many of his collection he pulled himself.
Not very many. Misprints are pretty hard to find, especially good ones. I pulled some misprints back in '97, and I pulled several from those 2 booster boxes that I opened, and I ended up keeping them, except for one. One of them I was able to trade away. I was happy to trade them for a regular copy of the card, but most people weren't willing to do that because misprints were just damaged cards back then and no one wanted them. So I kept most of those cards that I opened in my collection, and I still have them there. But most of my misprint collection has been purchased or traded for because that's just the best way to get them if you're in any kind of a hurry at all, because opening packs, it's pretty unlikely you're going to get anything.
Yeah, pretty unlikely for sure. Someone else asked, how many blue hurricanes are in existence?
Oh, that's a tough one. Let's see. When Summer Magic came out, it was recalled, and there was some people asking questions at a convention about the recall. They wanted to know what was going on and stuff like that. So Richard Garfield said in reply to those questions that the print run was 120 million cards for Summer Magic.
My gosh.
But that's not very relevant today because almost all of them have been destroyed.
Yeah, they were like thrown in dumpsters and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. There's been a persistent rumor that something like I think it was 40 booster boxes or 40 cases or something like that is what escaped and had to be recalled. That's also not very relevant. And
Did they actually recall
It
them?
may also not be very accurate. They did recall them.
So
yes.
they actually did get them back.
I don't know if they got all of them back. Like I know there's still sealed boxes out there.
Oh, okay.
Both in the hands of Wizards of the Coast employees and not in the hands of Wizards of the Coast employees. But some of those ones
investment-wise, I guess that's
had
kind of scary then.
were recalled ones.
So investment-wise, it's probably kind of scary for people because if they go out and spend money on these and then it turns out the supply is larger than anyone thought, that could be a risk.
Sure, yeah. But the supply is still really small. Comparable to Alpha is probably reasonable.
Oh, okay.
But at the same time, the cards which are popular or unusual, there's more of those in existence than there are of the junk cards because those were more likely to be saved.
Oh, I see. That makes sense.
Right.
So if someone got like a blue hurricane, they'd be like, "Oh, that's weird. It's hurricane, but it's blue."
Exactly.
Did you bring yours, by the way?
I think so. I think it's in that binder.
There you go.
There we go.
Some people might actually want to see it.
Let's see.
So while you're looking, Pete asked me, what is your favorite cards in your budget green legacy deck? I love the Berserk and the Giant Growth. Those are really fun. I love the Llanowar Elves. I love the Urnam Jin and Centennial Druids. I love them because if you can get them out fast enough, you can make everyone hold back their Moxen and their artifacts and stuff. And I love that effect that they have. Oh, there it is. So look, there's a normal hurricane and a blue, and he just handed it to me without a sleeve or anything. Gosh, I really wish I didn't pick up dog poop before I did this live stream.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
It's all right.
Okay. What are mythics? Enigma Records was asking. Mythics are cards that are rarer than rare. They only show up in one of every many boxes. Well, in a box you'll get like 2 to 4 mythics, but any specific mythic is hard to actually locate. This is going to blow up with Tavis here. Welcome, bud. Tristan says.
Thank you.
And then we've got some wavy faces and
Saying hi
the
to
man, the myth, the
Tavis.
legend. Hi, Tavis King. Ask him about the 200 blue hurricanes. Okay, we did that.
Pete says, just want to thank you for all the questions you are answering and spending time with us.
Cool. Happy to be here.
Yeah,
Wish I could have been here with you and OB.
yeah, that would have been
That
really
would've
cool.
been
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, so just so you guys know, I did try to set that up to get both these guys in the same room, but everyone's busy, so it was hard to put all those pieces together at the
Yep.
same time.
Jonathan King says, good to see you, Tavis.
Thank you.
Tom Kretschel. Tavis, what's in the box? Laugh out loud.
What's in the box?
Yeah.
This box?
I believe that's the one he's
Probably
referring
that box.
That's
to.
right back over there.
All right. This box. Let's just reveal it, huh?
Yeah, this is a really
Ooh.
cool thing. I specifically asked him to bring this.
All right. So this box contains, I think, 14 decks. Yep, 14 decks. They're all sleeved in Dragon Shield black sleeves. Identical boxes, unlabeled, unmarked on the outside, and inside each one is a deck. Now these particular decks were top tier decks from 96 and 97. There's one deck here from 95. And they're,
So not quite old school, a little past.
yeah, just a little past. I had some decks that were 94 and 95, and this is the ones I made just after that. So there's one 95, and then I think there's just a couple
It's not
97s. Most of these are 96. So these are decks that
It's not
that
food.
were winning tournaments back then, and they were
So
built
like
by
keeper and
well-known
stuff like
people.
that.
Yeah. Each one has inside of it here
Oh, way to get it down.
piece of paper that is like an instruction sheet. This is a deck list with a
Try to see if I
description.
can hold that
Yeah.
up so people can see it.
It says who built the deck and when, what all cards are in it, and some tips on how to play it.
And the camera keeps like focusing and then not focusing on it. I don't know if you guys can like see all that, but yeah, it's really cool.
So this was designed because I wanted to play with my old cards in 2014. I wanted to play with my old cards, and no one in my local area had the old cards to play with. And so I wanted to find a way to get people interested in the old cards and also to play with them. And my solution was to build the decks so that everyone could play. So I built 14 decks of what was popular and winning tournaments back then when I was playing. And I just sort of put them all on a table, and everyone at the event could get a random deck to play. And then they didn't have to bring their own cards, didn't have to invest anything. We were all just having fun. So
Tavis is apparently very modest because he's actually Doc Brown, and then what he's got on his lap is actually a time machine that takes you back to the year 1997, where you get to play what was at the time vintage decks back then.
yeah, they're all type 1.
So when Tavis came out last time to hang out with me, we went to a Barnes & Noble, and we got to play several games and switch it up between those decks. It was immensely fun. I could have done that for weeks. So maybe we can do like a slumber night party or something.
At
like
Barnes &
that.
Noble.
Yeah.
That'd be cool too. Yeah.
Yeah, just everyone stay up all night, we'll eat pancakes the next morning,
Keep
and
the
just play
Starbucks
cards. Yeah.
This question is for Tavis from Froggy0025. What's your most prized misprint? Not necessarily the rarest.
That's a tough one. I don't know. It might be in here. I'm not sure. Most prized.
Okay, so while he looks
really
through that,
difficult question.
what's the next
one
question?
from Joseph Pedersen is Tavis, do you think Edwin used unfair tactics in your carpet race in Vegas?
No, not at all. He was perfectly fine. By the way, hi Joseph. It was great meeting you.
Fair tactics.
Vera, is it Vera or Vara?
Actually, I'm not sure.
Okay, maybe she could answer. Providence is in Rhode Island, but very close to the border of Massachusetts. Only an hour from Boston.
Okay, thank you for the
Okay.
So
clarification.
that's fun.
So
While
what's
you're
the
at your
town
little
at
game,
the
I
end
could
of
go to
Cape
Boston.
Cod?
I'm not sure.
I think it starts with a P.
P-Town.
Yeah.
That's Portland. Let's see. Okay, Oh, Pete retracted his message.
How do you do that?
All right. Kaz, I think it's Kazmarek, 123. Tavis, I collect Middle Ages and French unofficial cards. I like
Wow.
unofficial magic sets. Are there other types of sets like that I can look into?
Yes, there are. I would have to think on that a bit. What would be a good way to contact me? Find me on Facebook, I suppose, and ask me that question, and I will try to get back to you. But there are several other unofficial sets. There's some playtest cards, like invitational stuff. That's going to be, all these are going to be really tough to find, the unofficial stuff.
We could link your Facebook page
Sure.
down
Yeah.
at the bottom after
Yep.
that.
Okay, I'll leave a link to Tavis's Facebook page in the description of this video.
Yeah,
Yep.
and that's the CZA. I think it's CZARNICK. So
Hey,
Sarnik?
Magic the Unboxing channel. What's up, Tavis? Big fan here.
All right.
Woo, see,
Thanks.
shouldn't he do a channel? This
Yes.
guy has
Yeah.
this insane amount of knowledge.
I should.
Jonathan King says, thanks for hosting this live, Edwin.
No problem.
Bakara says, Tavis, what's the value of your entire collection?
I have no
Priceless?
idea. I would like to know what it's worth, but it's just so hard to value, especially
Probably.
some of the rare things, because the value can change, drastically.
Yeah, they
because-
probably buy and sell so infrequently. We
Yeah.
have to put a market price on it, right?
Exactly. Yep. Really hard to value some of this stuff. There's some stuff here that only has a couple copies, like this one right here. Hold up the camera.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you guys, of course, recognize what that is, but notice it's a white border Mox with square corners, but then you turn it over, and what? What? Let me turn it back. Yeah, I don't even know what to think.
Yep. So a couple of those left the factory, and so this is one of two. The other one probably still exists somewhere. We don't know where. This one's not going to sell anytime soon. Like it's just stuck in my collection. So if the other one ever surfaces, who knows what it'd go for?
That's pretty cool. It's
Yeah.
basically like an unlimited print with square corners.
Yeah.
And then they use that paper as a test for something else.
Yep. It's they were testing the printing press to make sure everything was lined up properly.
Uh-huh.
And so they checked it out on rares, commons, and this is actually an antiquities card printed on top of this.
Oh, that is really
so
cool.
The,
And even the border is like, it's like a lighter gray. It's like
that's
not the normal
because
color.
it was already sealed. There's a clear wear coat over the ink after it's printed, and that prevented the black ink from the antiquities card from soaking in.
Oh, I see.
So, yeah, that's why it's gray. It just didn't really stick.
Where do you find out this stuff?
Boy, I ask Wizards of the Coast employees, and
Uh-huh.
I check out the cards in person with my own eyes
Uh-huh.
under high magnification.
Wow. Okay.
This is to both of you.
Yeah.
Tavis and Edwin, what is the greatest seller/trader remorse that you have?
Oh gosh, that's easy for me.
Hmm.
That's in college when I had my collection of vintage Magic cards, and I had Beta Power 9. I had like 10 of my dual lands were Beta. I had like 4 workshops, 4 bazaars, 4 tabernacles. I mean, I had it all, and I sold that collection at the end of college for $4,000.
Wow.
And it was like play sets of like everything vintage in like 1990, 99 or no, it was 2000. Somewhere about 2000 is when I graduated and sold all that stuff. So yeah, easily that's it.
I don't sell things, so I don't really have that regret very much.
Did you ever trade something away that you regretted it?
No, I do have a trade that I regret not taking. I had a 5th edition, I think it was a deflection or something like it. It's a blue counterspell, and it was worth about $20 at the time. And someone offered to trade me a dual land for it. And I don't remember which dual land it was, but I wish I would have taken that offer. I
Yeah.
should have taken that offer.
That would have been a good offer.
Yeah.
Edwin, Pete wants to know, he lives 10 minutes from Providence. When do you get to know for sure if you are going?
I don't know. When do I know for sure, sweetie?
When is it?
May 25th, I heard.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah, people have been asking about
That's
that.
right
It's-
before Mackenzie's stop, or that for school.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we'll have to
Maybe.
look at when my daughter's school ends because I might need to be here for that. But we'll see because I'd like to
We'll
go.
check that.
And it sounds like the flight there might not be super expensive, so that could work. I'll post it. Well, gosh, how do I easily communicate with people? I guess I'll just say it in a video or on Instagram or something like that, or people can email me directly.
Wants to bring us to England? I'd be happy about that.
Yeah.
I have a dream. I have a dream.
To the actual, not New England.
I
but
will start
England.
singing the Rapunzel song. I have
Yeah.
a dream to go to England.
Yeah, my wife really wants to go to England and France and everything like that.
Yeah. And Scotland. Okay. Enigma Records asking Travis, how did you come across the test cards, if that's the right term, the ones they use that don't have artwork or anything on regularish paper?
Okay, playtest cards is the correct term. Those came from a Wizards of the Coast employee. He was the art director for Netrunner. Eventually what he did. Those are the ones that we played with on Edwin's other video.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those decks were his, and I ended up with them. He sold them to another collector, and I got them from that person. I also have a lot of other playtest cards, and usually they come from playtesters or employees of Wizards of the Coast. Sometimes I got quite a few from Keith, the misprint guy.
Should I hold
Guys
them up
probably,
so
yeah,
people can see them?
Let me turn the start there.
Okay. Let's see if you guys can see this. I'll just stand up for it. Some of the playtest cards he's got here. You can see those there. It's pretty cool. This is quite a collection. I think if I'm seeing it right, there's not too much glare or anything on the screen.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, that's crazy stuff, Tavis.
Yep.
Okay, next question.
Devosaurus Rex, aka your wife,
Hey,
is,
Deb.
Honey,
is asking how many does he have?
how many does he have? Of what?
I don't know if she means cards.
Cards? Oh,
Deb, clarify.
yeah. I don't know how many cards I have either.
Maybe he's
it's
I
a lot.
don't know. If
The answer is always never enough.
Same thing as value. It's just hard to determine.
How many more do you need, sweetie? More.
Yeah. Tristan Eason is asking or says, "Wow, blue hurricane, heart attack, laugh out loud. Thanks, that made my day."
Mhm.
Level Up Gaming. I want to get a game in with you, brother. I don't know who, both of you.
Edwin's a bigger player,
Yeah.
so probably.
Sorry, what's the question?
Vara. It wasn't a question. It was just he's just saying I want to get a game in with you, brother.
Yeah, I would love to. Who's the one that
Level
was
Up
Vara said that?
No, Level Up Gaming.
I would love to do some gaming. Actually, one of the reasons I've been slowing down on creating the video content is because I've been playing more games. So, yeah, I need to get more gaming in. And unfortunately, like I can't change two of the other things. I have to keep working. I got to keep the family time going. So this little bit of free time that I've got, I'm squeezing like all the YouTube channel video creation and playing in. And I've been doing more playing lately to kind of develop and play test decks. So yeah, I'd love to get a game in. Just contact me on my email address. And I've got that listed in the description of the video.
Vara says super neat list. Froggy says these old decks, there we go, are awesome. Killer Frog 124. Sorry, I've got a little heart. G Dog. I don't know what that says. Lost with its its wits. Is that it? Good day, fellow humans. Jonathan King says those decks are amazing. What a great piece
there.
of
I see where you are now.
Yeah. Nicola, I am hoping to build a box like that to play here in my city too. I'm actually just with a mono white and mono blue old school budget, but they have a better looking box, I have to say.
Okay, and they're saying they know how to find me on Facebook and SAR. Okay, they said, Tavis, you do need to do a channel.
Yep.
And Vara said, totally make a channel. Yeah, you should totally make a channel.
You can find me on YouTube also. I do have a channel. There's just nothing on it yet.
Well, put something on it.
Yeah, I need to put something on it. Yeah.
Tavis, have you ever gotten, this is from Joseph, stuck with people trying to pass you fake test cards and fake rare ones of prints?
No, I don't think that's ever happened. I'm pretty good identifying things. I'm well known for being able to identify counterfeit cards. So I think people just kind of know better than to send me stuff like that. Now, they've sent me stuff like that knowing that it's fake to
To ask you, right?
to verify, like they want my opinion on whether it's fake or not, or just to add to my collection. Sometimes it's good to have examples of fake stuff so you can show people the difference.
Rudy has a whole stack of fake cards. Remember that at his
Yep.
shop that he's been getting for a while, so you can always compare them.
And he adds, if we want to buy some, how could we tell authenticity from players on such rare things?
It's difficult. It's best to go find someone that's trustworthy. Get the cards from someone who's trustworthy, like Keith or myself. Have someone look at them that really has some experience with those type of product. Yeah.
Edwin, now that you have done a few live streams, how do you like it compared to videos?
That's a good question. So
That's from Terry.
the live streams, they're kind of hard for me actually, because I like being a bit more prepared when I've done a video, and I like talking about things I feel really competent in, because I don't really want to just run my mouth off and talk about things that I don't really feel like I have good command over. But when you're on a live stream, people could ask you kind of anything, and the content in that live stream could be good or bad. I don't really know what direction it's going to go. And so I've been kind of timidly going into the live stream concept, and it's been fun so far. But I wonder sometimes what the replay value is actually like for people, because I really want my channel to have a lot of video content that people start going back and looking at old videos, and it's still useful and relevant and interesting to them. And I don't honestly know how well these qualify for something like that to be interesting after the fact.
Less videos with higher content is the way to go.
I watch live videos that aren't live anymore all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe that. Well, I mean, when I've got people like Tavis here and I've got you here, and then they're gonna watch it for me.
They're gonna watch it no matter what.
You're like, dang, she's hot. I'm gonna log into
that. Deb was talking about having blue hurricanes. Do you know?
Oh, just one.
Okay.
One's enough for me.
Then there's another 3 that he bought.
Yeah.
But he didn't tell you.
Speaking of which, I don't know if these are my favorite misprints. Probably not. But I do enjoy them. This is a cycle of cards that are not blue.
Here, so you can lean up closer.
All right. So this is, I don't know if we can.
Oh, that's
see
the
it.
Sari Angel, right?
Yeah. Do you know how to hold that to the camera so you can see it?
Just get it right in there.
There we
and
go.
then you just kind of adjust it so the camera can hopefully focus on it. Come on, camera.
Yes, this is a white card, even though it looks sort of bluish.
Come on,
Card
camera.
color is determined by casting cost, if you check the rules.
It does not want to focus on that. It's like, no, I will not focus. There it is.
There we
There it is.
Yep, so I have a cycle of blue cards that aren't blue. That's the white one.
Okay, probably just hand me the next one so we
Here's
can keep the
green
focus.
one.
Okay. Look at that. That is cool.
Then we have a red one. This is crimped at the bottom.
Do we lose the focus? Come on. Where's the next one? Come on, focus. Sorry, everybody. We're working with technology here. It's focusing on me still. So I'll cover up my face. There we go. See, that's what it is.
Cover your face.
Hide my face, and then the camera goes.
Black one.
And then this.
Blue card with no casting cost at all.
That is cool.
So
That's a
it's
blue
not
elemental
blue.
blast.
I guess
Okay.
it's just an elemental blast if it's not blue.
The crimp on the bottom of this one is really cool. See if you can get that in the camera. If we can get it to focus firstly. There we go. I mean, it was there for a second. Fighting technology. Okay, maybe not. Okay, I don't want to waste too much time on it. But the crimp is really cool on the bottom of this one. And that's when they seal the booster packs effectively,
Yep.
right?
That's from sealing the booster packs.
Bakaris wants to know, is there a
BA Karas.
a what? Oh, BA.
Yeah, he
Karis?
corrected us
Oh,
to
I'm
say
sorry.
it's B because he just
Sorry.
couldn't do the periods.
Sorry.
Oh.
BA Karis wants to know, is there a misprint Black Lotus?
Yes.
There is?
The
Oh, you mean like the line across the back?
but yeah, that's really common. I don't know if I'd call that a misprint or not.
Oh,
but
okay.
it is kind of a misprint. It's a roller mark.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that happens a lot in Unlimited. The Mox that I just showed you guys a little bit ago, the Mox Emerald with the square corners,
Mm-hmm.
that exists as a Black Lotus.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. Do you have that here?
I don't. I told the person who owns it where to get it, and he has it now, and it probably will never leave his collection.
That is pretty cool.
Yep.
I gotta say that is pretty cool. Do you have the crystal Mox in here?
Yeah.
Or Mox Crystal? That's my favorite one. I want to get that one.
I think you passed it.
Did I?
No, maybe not. Maybe not. I forget what it was.
I got to show this one to you guys. Purple, MTG Purple did a video on this card once. The fact that it actually exists.
Nope, we passed it. Yeah. It'll be like in this area, but on another page. So.
And Tavis actually has one inside here somewhere. Okay, so give me a sec here, guys. We're getting to it. It's worth it.
There we go.
Oh, there it is. That's the back of it, though. Can I take it out?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Wait. That's just the...
That's the certificate of
Oh, this is the
authenticity.
certificate. Where's... Okay, so... Hold this up. That's the certificate of authenticity for Mox Crystal. Where's the actual Mox Crystal?
Right here.
Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Okay, and then the actual Mox Crystal is right here. Look at that. That is a rare Mox. Come on, camera.
Yep, it is.
Work with me here.
If I remember
I'll
right,
cover up
40
my face
of those
again.
were made.
It was there for a second. Now that is really cool. That is a Mox you do not see very often. So yeah, can you tell the story about those?
Sure. That's something I should do on my channel. I should go.
Yeah, actually.
Full-blown
Oh, then I don't want to steal your
colorless
thunder
Moxes.
then.
No,
yeah,
that's
that'll
okay,
be your
that's okay.
content.
Just a short version.
Okay.
Mox Crystal. This particular one was created for part of the 5-color format, which is a format that I don't think is really around anymore. But it predated Commander. It was, I think, 250 cards. You had to have all 5 colors. You could only have one of each card. And you played, I think, for ante. And a lot of times you'd, sign cards and stuff like that. If you lost at ante, and then you could track the card's progress through different owners, which was kind of fun.
That is cool.
So they had a Worlds event at Gen Con, I think every year while the format was active. And they would have tournaments that would qualify you to enter the World tournament. And if you won the qualifier tournament to enter the World Championship tournament, they gave you one of these as a prize for a while. There was a few different cards they gave out besides Mox Crystal, but and it was legal in that format and only in that format. So that's how you got it, and that's why there's not very many. And,
would you say it's like 20 or 30 of them or something like that?
40, I think, is the number I recall. But
wow.
But I think not
That's
all
rare.
40 are the same type of card. Some of them are foil, and some of them are non-foil. They made them in a few different batches, so there's some differences between the different generations.
So they're actually printed using the Wizard's print press, right?
No, nope, these are not.
Oh, okay. So they're just done with like an inkjet or something like that?
Yes.
Oh, that's hard.
This one in particular is, yeah.
That's probably hard
Might have
to
been laser.
It'd be easy for someone to replicate that then, I would imagine.
Easier than a Wizards of the Coast card, yeah. And that's why the certificate of authenticity is pretty important. This says not only where I got it from, but it says who won it back then in the World Qualifier Tournament. And they kept records of that. So
that is really cool.
They kept records of who won the prizes.
So Darkside Gaming says, what video platform do you use for your old school games online? It's either Skype or AppearIn is the two programs that I've used the most. But I like Skype personally because AppearIn is great for doing side-by-side video. But with Skype, the person that I don't need to see my cards because they're right in front of me. I need to see the other person's. And their video is like on the whole screen for Skype with the default free version. So I like Skype personally between the two. And what type of camera do you use for playing old school online? The camera I'm using right now, which as you can see is a great camera. It's the Logitech C930, I think is what this one is. And it's like this one is a $60 camera and it's full 1080p and it's got great focus and lighting effects and yeah, $60. That's real cheap on Amazon to get something like this.
I might have to pick one of those up.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Sorry.
Tavis, we can put something up Turkey weekend. Debasaurus Rex says.
Oh, okay. Sounds great.
And Gigabyte says, Edwin, and then I'll skip down 2 lines. Edwin, when you pick up cards for old school, do you prefer to pick up near mint cards, beat up cards, or what? Great question. I most of the time am buying LP. Because I'm playing with my cards. And so if I buy near mint, alpha, beta, all that, you're going to pay a huge premium for those cards. And then I'm just going to shuffle and play them. And with the first tiny ding, they lose a ton of value. So until I'm done getting my play sets of cards first, it's all going to be mostly LP. But then after I have my play sets, if I want to keep buying cards, that's when I'll start going for like near mint, graded, slabbed kind of cards.
Jonathan King says, do you find more or less misprint now that the cards are not printed at Carta Mundi?
More. Way more.
So it's not special really anymore then.
Not as special, I guess. So I guess what it does is it changes which misprints are impressive. That's what it does. So if you see, more cards that have maybe light printing on certain colors, or there's just certain errors that you see more frequently, especially with the newer cards. And so those are less impressive because they're easier to find. One of the cool things about misprints is that they're hard to find, and also that they attract attention. If you can see the error from across the table, while you're playing, that's usually where you want to be at for impressiveness.
For something like this, like the Sarah Angel, that's a time elemental.
Yep.
That is very cool. I mean, they really screwed that up. Somebody was drunk that day.
Jonathan King asks, what was the Sinbad misprint?
Oh, Sinbad is a. You want to hold it up? Or?
Sure. See if I can get it to focus. Yep. So might as well just start talking about it.
Yep, Sinbad is a blue card from Arabian Nights. Now this one is a 4th edition Korean card, and they messed up the casting cost on that. It's a black instead of a blue. So the card is actually supposed to be a blue card and have a blue casting cost, but this particular printing has a black casting cost.
Froggy asks, that unofficial card is a sticker, or is it printed on the cardboard, Mox Crystal?
Sticker is not exactly the correct word because I don't think the adhesive is attached to the paper. The adhesive was applied to the paper after printing and then stuck to the card.
So it's printed on paper.
Which is why this is in a sleeve, because the adhesive on the edge can stick to other things. They were a little sloppy when they made it.
Oh, okay. So you got to always have it sleeved pretty much.
Avatar Magic asks, how many unopened alpha, beta, and unlimited packs are still there, Tavis?
Well, there's definitely some out there. How many? I have no idea. There's not really any way to know, but it's not a lot. They're disappearing as time goes on.
I keep thinking that they've got to be almost gone, and then some others resurface.
Yep.
So I know, like Open Boosters, like I just had it in a video the other day. He has that starter brick.
That was impressive to see.
Yeah. You saw that video?
Yep.
Oh my gosh!
I saw it in person when we were at his
house.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. Oh my gosh! I want that thing so much.
Yep. There's not a lot out there.
This guy has a long name. Craig Mason's Reasonable Conversation channel.
Oh, Craig is in. Yeah. I follow his channel.
Oh, okay. He says, wow, are you guys talking about 5-color?
Yes.
Yeah, he was talking about 5-color, the format that was Wizards did to create the Mox Crystal and the Certificate of Authenticity. Yep, exactly.
Nicola.
Good to see you here, Craig, by the way.
Nicola says, I think Discord is a great VoIP. Does that stand for something? VoIP?
A voice over IP.
Oh, okay. Would be nice to have an active old school community there.
I know Discord is great for voice. They don't do video though, do they? Discord chat services?
I don't know much about it.
Yeah, you really need video when you do old school games because you got to be able to see all the cards that they've got down on their side. Because the whole game is about that. You got the face and video interaction. But what I've always thought would be fantastic is if you could get like 2 cameras up for each person, one like an overhead down on their cards, and then another so you could see their face, because so much of playing with people is that face-to-face interaction. Like I enjoy that. That's actually why I play paper Magic instead of online most of the time.
I prefer in person too. The interactions.
Yeah.
It's what it's about for me.
Yeah, and you totally get that, at least a piece of it when you're doing the Skype games with people. So that's really cool.
B.A. Karis says, Tavis, do you think there's a lot of misprints destroyed since most players would think it's trash?
Definitely, especially the older ones. Like I was saying earlier, in '97 when I opened my first misprints, no one wanted them at all. And most people would just throw them away. I'm not inclined to throw things away. I try to save them and find someone that wants them. So I just kept mine for a long time. But most people would have just thrown in the garbage. So there's some really impressive stuff that's no longer with us.
Grim Reefer says, I used to play high 5 or 5-color. It actually wasn't a singleton format, but there was a banned restricted list. I miss playing 5-color. It was such a great game or great anti-format.
Yeah, I've never got to try it actually.
Sounds fun to me.
But I do. My EDH decks are always 5-color because I love just being able to play just like anything, and for people to have no idea what I'm gonna play.
Avatar Magic says, I personally opened a misprint ROC of Kier Ridges and
Rock of Care Ridges, yeah.
and Bad Moon and Revised in 93 and returned them to the card shop I bought them from because I was upset about totally regret that today.
Yep. Wizards of the Coast has a policy where you can return defective product and get replacements, whether it's the exact card replaced or another booster pack or something like that. And those cards, the person at Wizards of the Coast who does the replacing, who receives that mail and takes care of helping all those unsatisfied customers, in many cases, they can keep those cards. And
oh, man.
Yeah, I've heard some stories about that collection being sold off later. So those cards, even though they were sent back, actually got back out into the wild again.
Yeah, it would have been good to be that guy.
Yeah.
Big pile of blue hurricanes and angry people, and now you make tons of money.
Grim Reaper says, I missed an opportunity to pick up a Mox Crystal for $200 about 5 years ago.
Oh.
That's a good price.
Yeah.
Yep. I was looking at buying one here real recently, and I was ready to buy it, but it just wasn't available to be bought. And I think the price was much higher than that.
Killer Frog wants to know, did you ever play Anti-Black Anti back in the day when they released cards for that format?
I'm not sure who he's asking, so I'll just answer it first.
Yeah.
I've never actually played fully for Anti because I started when Ice Age Alliances about that time. And Anti was already like out and no one was actually doing it. And the thought of losing my cards, like I just couldn't, I'm not a gambler. I couldn't stand the thought of it. So I never did.
Same here. I never liked the concept of Anti. I guess for a game mechanic, it's okay. I can see why they wanted it in the game. But man, no one wanted to lose their cards. It never really was a thing. It didn't take off.
Stephen Donato this is for Tavis. Tavis, how do you know so much about Wizards of the Coast? What made you get into the technical / misprint side of MTG?
Yeah, I've asked him the same question.
Well, I started out, playing Magic, of course, and then played Magic for a long time and collected Magic. And then I got into looking into how to identify whether a card was real or fake. And that got me more into some technical aspects. And I also, at the same time, was getting into misprints. And if you study the misprints, you can actually kind of reverse engineer the printing process because you can see what went wrong or where it went wrong. So just from looking over a lot of cards, there's things that you can learn. And when I didn't know the answer or couldn't find the answer, I went and found Wizards of the Coast employees who did know the answer. And I asked them. So always go to the source or as close as you can get for the information. That's the best way to go there.
Craig Mason is asking, or he says, wow, thanks. I loved 5-color. And
so that's cool if he actually played 5-color. Craig, did you?
Then he said, glad I caught you guys live.
So I'm going to give a quick plug for Craig. So anyone who likes, if you're tired of like a lot of the political battles going on back and forth, and you just want to go to a channel where people are talking fairly sensibly about what's going on and not really arguing so much with each other. I mean, he's definitely got his opinion on stuff, but it was the Craig Mason's Reasonable Conversation channel. I caught him when he first did this video of like Rudy, where he did this like green screen in the background that looked like Rudy's background. And I think that was the first video I saw of like him. It was really cool. It was like well done. And now he's kind of diverged, I think, away from Magic, and he's gone off onto other topics. But I still watch his channel. I think it's fantastic. So you guys should go check it out for sure.
Nicola said, yeah, you can video with Discord.
Okay, I didn't know that. I thought it only did chat.
Tavis, this is from Brett. Tavis, what is your all-time favorite misprint? Loving the live streams.
That's a really difficult question. Someone asked that earlier, and I just wasn't able to pick just one. It's so difficult to pick only one. There's really cool things about a lot of different cards. So let me just pull out a few here that are stand out as being pretty cool.
While he's looking stuff,
Sure.
Craig, not Greg, sorry. He says, make a 5-color format again, all in caps.
Yeah, I'd like to actually play it, but I don't want to like use my fancy cards for ante. I'll do it with cheap cards.
So here we go. This is a card back, and they printed the other side on top of it. Here we go. Both sides of the card are on the same side of the card.
It's a Library of
pretty
Lang,
neat.
isn't it?
Yep, Library of Lang, 5th edition.
Wow, that is cool.
There's another question for you, Tavis, when you're ready.
Sure, anytime.
Avatar Magic asks, what's your... Oh, okay, hold on.
Here's another one.
Hold on a second.
So this one is
They're
a
asking
white
kind of the same
card.
thing.
It has some red tape over it, and the printing for the card is printed over the red tape.
So it looks like it was a white foil.
Yep, Japanese foil.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's just it's printed right on top of the red tape. So you
Yep.
could literally peel that red tape off and see the rest of the card without the ink underneath it.
Yep, it's
But-
pulled up a little on the corner there.
Oh, that's terrible. Then I don't want to do that.
Yep, pretty neat card.
So Avatar Magic is kind of asking the same thing, but he's also asking what misprint you don't own, but you want the most.
Ooh. You guys have good questions.
Yeah.
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 Got a good crowd here. You guys are awesome.
If I knew that, I would probably find it and get it. So, yeah, I might have to purchase something if I think of the answer.
Sorry, Deb. I didn't know that question was coming, Deb. I apologize. Maybe he'll spend some money from something else. Sell his Blue Hurricane for it. I don't know.
Jonathan King says, I just picked up 3 tundras and a volcanic island on eBay. And let's see, any other
Good job.
tests to prove authenticity besides the light test, loop, and field test besides the bend test?
The bend test isn't great. I don't recommend that. Real cards can fail it after enough bending times. I've actually heard from Wizards of the Coast employee. Well, let me back up a second. So the bend test is something that cardstock manufacturers use to check out the quality of a cardstock. They check out whether it's resilient and whether it bounces back or not. It's not really meant to be done again and again to the same card.
I'll just work on it while you go ahead.
So I've actually had a Wizards of the Coast employee tell me that they introduced the bend test at tournaments as a way to destroy fakes because they weren't allowed to confiscate them. So if someone is playing in a tournament with a fake card and Wizards of the Coast, their employees, this was back in 93, 94, they see it, then they can't confiscate the card because it belongs to someone else. You can't just take someone else's property. But what they could do was introduce something called the bend test. And they took the card and they bent it, and usually it would fail because of the way fakes were made back then. Fakes back then were usually home printed and glued on paper on top of a regular card. So they would usually fail the bend test, similar to the way rebacks failed the bend test. But the people who were doing the bend test would intentionally bend the card too far to crease it. And then at that point, the card was marked and couldn't be played because it didn't have sleeves back then.
I'd be pissed off if somebody did that to my card.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're seeing failures on this one now. I was just working this card over, and you're probably not going to be able to see it in the camera, but it's got little creases like right on the surface of the card there. There's almost no way you're going to be able to see it, but I'll just give it a shot anyways to try. But anyways, yeah, you guys saw me working that card over, and it actually does have some failure marks on it.
Yep.
You can see the creases on it when the light hits it,
If
right?
you bend it enough times, it'll fail. And especially with humidity cycles, the card gets moist, it'll swell up the cardstock, it gets stiffer. Age makes them stiffer.
Humidity cycles here.
Won't
We're doing
try
this
it on
real
old
time.
School cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is how we roll on this channel, guys. Yeah, it looks terrible.
John,
Here's another neat one to show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
nice. So you can see the card on the back has like it's only a tiny bit of it's missing, but then you fold it over on this side, and you can tell that it got folded and then cut.
Yep.
And so the rest of the print sheet is folded over with it there. You can see it bending up right there.
that's cool.
Open it up a little.
Oh, I wouldn't do that. I'd be worried about that falling off.
Yep. So there you go.
Wow, that is cool.
Yep. So it was printed and then it was folded before it was cut. Just an accident in the factory there.
And it was in a pack like that?
Yep.
Wow.
It says PBM Graphics. That's where it was printed. That's in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm. That's one of those little mistakes that gets out, and people are like, I know where you printed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this.
And
That'd be
it
so
is.
weird for it to show up in a booster pack like that.
John Cox is asking, do either of you foresee CE card being legal in sanctioned events for vintage legacy?
Oh, it just was actually. There was
That
okay.
wasn't
So
sanctioned though.
no, I think it was an actual Channel Fireball event somewhere, wasn't it? Okay, you guys.
Eternal Weekend.
It was Eternal
was
Weekend.
where it was at, but I don't think that was sanctioned. I think Wizards allowed the venue to hold unsanctioned events that allowed the collector's edition cards.
Are you sure that's what it was?
No,
Because
I'm not sure.
because I think that there was like a GP or there was some more official event where they actually said that collector's edition were allowed, and that was very recent.
Yep.
And so there's definitely a lot of pressure for something like that to actually happen, to allow the collector's edition, and that's definitely what caused the value to go up, because for so many years they were not legal for anything, and then old school format came out, and then now they are legal for that format. Sorry, my dog is dying to be picked up here.
I wouldn't be too surprised if they became legal at some point. I think that would be a good move. I don't see any reason not to do it. We already have double-faced cards that don't have magic card backs, so the card back shouldn't really be an issue. We have opaque backed sleeves, so again, card back shouldn't be an issue. They were official product printed by Wizards of the Coast, so it's not like they're fake exactly. They're legit cards. And we have other examples of official product that wasn't previously tournament legal being made tournament legal, like the portal sets. So starter, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Down below here, Scott's saying that Tavis is right. The announcement from Wizards of the Coast confirmed sanctioned events would not allow it.
Okay, well, thank you for clarifying.
Yet.
Good
job. Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. Enigma Record says, do you have any least favorite misprints? We kind of already did that.
All the ones that are not rare.
Yeah. B.A. Karas, Tavis, besides magic, do you have any other hobbies?
Yes, I have a lot of hobbies. Probably too many.
You should tell them about the Jeep.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, recently, I, with my wife, built a Jurassic Park Jeep, the real life-size vehicle from the first
Cool.
movie.
If you're okay with
We
it, I can
enjoy it.
actually overlay a video
Sure.
picture of it here.
Yeah. How do we do that?
We'll have to like edit the video. Well,
Okay.
And then like After Effect.
All right. Sounds good.
It's
Yep.
cool.
I also build other vehicles. I have a 1970 Challenger. I have a 1938 Ford truck. And I've built some other stuff. A 1970 Cuda, a 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner. There's more vehicles. I could keep going on. In addition to that, I collect some toys. Stuff from when I was young in the 80s. I have G.I. Joes, He-Mans, Transformers. Those were the big three.
Oh yeah.
I also have some
Oh, yeah.
robots and some other things. I got a pretty extensive Micro Machine collection from the first
Oh, I
2
remember
years.
those. The guy that talks so fast.
Yeah, exactly.
Micro
Yep.
Yeah.
machines.
Yep. The first 2 years, I have a lot of those. After that, not so many. There's probably some other things, but yeah, I have a coin collection, Atari, some video games,
Mhm.
Super Nintendo.
So we're almost at an hour and a half here. I've been normally shutting these off somewhere about like at 90 minutes. So for like a few more minutes and a few more questions, then let's call it a day.
Okay.
All right.
I'll just see if there's any actual questions out of the.
At Mike Long, the unlimited twiddles are only worth $1.50 each. By the way, I think those are probably going to go up because people are finding more use for them because there's discussions about Time Vault being unrestricted sometimes, and Twiddle would be huge for that. So
Someone just
Avatar.
came in.
So Avatar Magic just
Yeah.
said something.
I firmly believe Underground Sea and Volcanic Island for sure will surpass all the Moxes in price in their prospective sets, and wouldn't be surprised if all the dual lands did as well. What about you?
I don't think that's the case because, just looking at the numbers of them specifically, you've got about 18,000 of each Power 9 card that have ever been printed for Alpha, Beta, and Unlimited together. And then for the dual lands, you've got I've heard if you add in the revised along with like the foreign black border, the different printings, it's like 280,000 of each of those rares.
It's a lot if you count revised.
Yeah. Yeah, so the quantity of dual lands that are out there in comparison to those old original Power 9, it's the ratio is massively off. And there's nothing that can replace those old Power 9 cards in terms of speed and ability. So I don't see it that way at all. I think definitely the Power 9 are going to have the ultimate price as time goes on.
In addition to English revised, there's 3 sets of foreign black border.
Yeah, the
basically
German,
revised.
Italian, and Spanish.
And then there's foreign white border versions of those also. So we're looking at a lot of print runs there.
Yep. But I mean, they're definitely they're in demand, and they're used in more formats because you can use them in EDH and you can use them in Legacy, and there's a lot more people that play those formats than Vintage and Old School. So you've got a lot more demand there, but yeah, the supply is also much larger as well. And I think, honestly, I think you can say that the market always tells you what's in most value, and it's always got the supply-demand ratios. But when the supply is too low and the demand is too high, that price goes up. So the market has basically been telling you for 25 years now that that's not the case, that the Unlimited and the Power 9 are just more valuable, right?
Yeah.
And I don't see that reversing,
It's been
honestly.
that way for a long time.
Okay, so I think that was
That's
about
it.
our last question.
Yep.
Charles Davis
Yep,
had something.
that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, we're just going to end it here. So thanks everyone for attending, and thank you, Tavis, for
Yeah.
showing up.
Yep. See
It
you
was
guys
great
next
to have
time.
you here. And I hope all of you guys have a great Sunday night, and thank you for tuning into the channel. Okay?
Bye.
Bye.